Iman here? Yeah. Ichin?
Yes.
Forrester, yeah. Primi?
Yes.
Good. Izar?
Yes.
Aris?
Yes.
Okay. Shiki? Shiki, not yet. Shiki? Shiki, not yet. Okay. Praveen?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Rauda? Marwan?
Yes.
Marwan, yeah.
Hmm?
Shinho? Tan Shinho? Not yet. John? Tijon?
Yes.
Okay. Gavin? Gavin? Gavin, not yet. Okay. Another one round. Ayman, yeah? Ayman, not yet.
Yes.
Shiki? Shiki, not yet. Tan Shinho? Not yet. Gavin? It's not yet. Three of you. Hey class. Okay, let's start today's lesson. Okay, today our plan is to check if you got any problem with the dynamic questions, the past year. If you don't have, then we're going to start with a new topic. Okay. So I'll share the desktop. Okay. Anyone? Any questions from the dynamic paper? You tried the questions maybe during weekends. Any questions you got a problem? Maybe we can discuss. If you don't have, then we go to the new topic.
Sir.
Just tell me the year and the number, question number. Yes, anyone?
Juno 7, number 10.
Juno 7, number 10. Okay, good. Everyone, Juno 7, number 10. Juno 7, number 10. Okay, this one. Okay, everyone, give a try. Juno 7, number 10. What is the magnitude of the average force acting? I'll just give you 1 minute for you to try. The others won't try. Give a try. Okay. So initially the momentum P1, the graph shows a variation with time t, the momentum of a ball as it kicked at a straight line. Initially the momentum is P1 at time t1. At time t2 the momentum is P2. P1 and P2. What is the magnitude of the average force acting on the ball within time t1 to t2? So P2, so final momentum minus initial momentum. Final momentum minus initial momentum over the time interval. P2 minus P1. P1, P2, do they say this magnitude? Momentum P1 at time T1 and T2 momentum is P2. So it's negative. What is the magnitude of the average force acting on the T1 and T2? So P2 minus P1, P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1. P2 minus P1, T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1. But we don't have P2 minus P1. What's the answer given for this?
B.
B. Boy, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. P2 minus P1 is proper, but P2 minus P1. Okay, let's say I give a number. For example, See, yeah. Okay, let's say P2, I give you, sorry. Just clear that. Okay, I put a number. P2, let's say I said it's a -10. Okay. P1, let's say, is positive 20 from the graph. Okay. Okay, T2, T1, I didn't put anything. I want what is the force? So force supposed to be the final momentum, which is P2 minus the initial momentum P1 over the, of course, T2 minus T1. This is the proper way of writing, correct? Final momentum minus the initial always. So in this case, final momentum minus initial is how much? -10 minus positive 20, right? Okay. Down still T2 minus T1. Okay, so check the top. Check the top. Top you get how much? -10 minus 20. So you get how much? Minus 30 over T2 minus T1. Correct? Okay, this is the correct answer for the force. But problem is this answer does not appear in the charts. But be careful. Look at the question. They said magnitude. They said magnitude. Magnitude is just a number. It's just one number. That means magnitude means if you put F equals to P1 minus P2, okay, over T2 minus T1, what do you get on top? What number do you get on top? P1 is what? P1 for your choice. P1 is what? Positive 20 minus -10. So on top you'll get what? On top you get 30. Get 30. T2 minus T1. Okay. You see the first answer here. This is the first answer, and this is the second answer. Both do their magnitude same? Is their magnitude same? Both have the same magnitude. Same magnitude, right? The numbers is the same. 30 over T2 minus T1. This also 30 over T2 minus T1. Magnitude same, but the sign different. The negative tells another story. The force, the direction of the force acting in the negative indicates that. So the answer is supposed to be 1, but because we don't have choice as 1, because they say same magnitude, therefore the P1 minus P2, T2 minus T1 can give the same magnitude as the first one. So therefore we go for the answer B. Okay, because look at the question. Magnitude, they just want the number. So P1 minus P2, you will get on top positive 30 if I put according to my number, -10, 20. So that's why magnitude same. So we go for B answer. Okay, doesn't have to be T2 minus T1. So answer either should be B or D. But P1 plus P2, you won't get the same magnitude as 30. You see P1 plus P1 20 plus -10, you get positive 10. So magnitude won't be the same as the first answer. So therefore we go for the answer B. Can you understand? Who asked this question?
Me.
Okay, Shamin. Can you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Any other question? Any question?
No.
Just tell me the year and the question. If you don't have, we go to the new topic. No questions.
November 08, the structure question.
November 08, November 08. Verse 5, sorry. Let's see, November 08. Let's go down. What is the page number? November 08, so structure. Okay, this one. This one, Okay. Okay, so look at this question. Everyone, those who haven't tried, let's try together. So ball A, a ball B of mass 1.2 kg traveling at a constant velocity collides head-on with a stationary ball S, 3.6 kilogram. Frictional forces are neglected. At variation time, the velocity V of the ball B before, during and after collision with ball S is shown. The variation with time t of the velocity of ball B. Ball B at the beginning was 4. Oh yeah, the ball B was moving with a 4, then become negative how much? Become negative 0.6, negative 0.6, no, negative 0.8 lah, negative 0.8. Okay, so this is the changes of velocity for the ball B. Initially was moving 4 to the right. After collide with the ball S, its velocity was negative 0.8. That means the ball B has been bounces backwards. We don't know about the consequence of S, but B has been bounced back with negative 0.8. Okay, so let's first take the significance of positive and negative value of B. It tells direction, right? Okay, positive tells the object is moving to the right, and negative tells the object moving to the opposite direction, which is to the left. That's it. Vice versa. A positive to the, we stick with positive to the right and negative to the left. Okay, so A is, I think, just no problem. Okay, B. Determine for ball B during the collision with ball S, the change in momentum of ball B. You have problem here?
So the change in momentum is use the final momentum minus with the initial momentum, right?
Yeah, correct.
But I see in the answer they plus the final velocity and the initial velocity.
Yeah, okay. So did I need to tell you this? They're asking for change in momentum. Change in momentum proper way is final minus initial. Okay. So in this case, the mass minus the final momentum was negative 0.8. Negative 0.8 minus initial momentum is 4. Right. So finally you get a negative answer, right? You should get a negative answer, kg ms negative 1. But the mark scheme put what? Positive answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. According to Cambridge, whenever they say change, whenever the word change is used, the word change is used, they just want the magnitude. They just want the magnitude. It means you put, let's say you got negative 30 here. Okay. This is the correct answer. This is the perfect one. Why? Because it tells you the magnitude. At the same time, it tells you the direction. So two information indicated, Okay. But Cambridge always go just the magnitude. So you put negative 30, it's not wrong. You can leave the answer here. This is the best answer. You get the full mark. Okay. But remember, because the Cambridge asking for change, you got, let's say, negative 30. Then you put change in momentum, therefore is positive 30. You get mark also. Okay. So remember, whenever the say change in momentum, change in velocity, all just stated to be just the magnitude. Although you get a negative answer, put it as positive. That's it. Okay. But you can leave it as negative. Negative. This is the best answer I can. Other boards, negative 30 is the perfect answer because it tells the magnitude, it tells the direction also. Okay. But all the mark scheme you're going to see in your Cambridge, whenever they say change, although calculation shows negative, they'll give the positive answer. Okay.
Okay.
So any part of this question you got a problem? That's the problem.
Yes, that's my problem.
Okay then. So anyone, any other questions? Any questions? Okay, I'm happy to see that some of you asking questions and you are doing the paper. Good. Keep it up with the attitude. Okay, those who haven't tried, you must try more questions because lots of variety of questions in each topics. Okay, any other questions? year and number. Okay, if you have no questions, then we can start new topic. Topic 5. Give you another 1 minute. So no questions. Let's just not to waste time. So keep trying the dynamic, okay, kinematics and dynamic. Yeah. So we go to the next topic. Okay. The next topic is going to be forces. Okay, this is going to be our today's lesson. Okay, everyone can see the slide, eh? Okay. So forces. Okay, under this topic, what are you going to do something extra compared to your early studies is, I think, these are the things you're going to forces. So these are the things you should learn. You're going to learn here a lot. I think the one you're going to learn something new, I believe, is your torque. O levels did that, but Form 5, SPM, I don't think so. You learn about torque turning effect. This is something new. Okay, couple. Early stage, nothing new. Something you learned before. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so what is force? Okay, force is a push or pull upon an object, resulting in object interaction with another object. Keyword is force is the type of it's a push or pull upon an object. It's a force. Okay. Force causes, of course, acceleration. You know that. Okay. There are many types of force in this world, but the forces all are categorized in these 4 big groups. You are not really recognize the first 2. Okay, although the existence is there, but we never realize these first 2. The first force is the strong nuclear force, only experienced by proton, neutron, subatomic particles. Strong nuclear force, proton, neutron. The strength is quite big, 10 to the power of 4, 10,000 Newton. And the problem is the range is quite short. The proton and neutron have to be this distance so that to experience the strong nuclear force. When the proton and neutron separation increases, then the strong nuclear force will suddenly become nullified, no more. So the nucleus is going to break. Okay, that's the consequence happens to the nucleus, large nucleuses. And now large nucleuses, the proton neutron spacing can increase, so strong nuclear force becomes 0. Okay, so that's the first type of group of force, strong nuclear force. Short range, very strong. There is another nuclear force we call weak nuclear force, which cause of radioactivity. All the radioactivity happens because of weak nuclear force. Weak nuclear force, very weak, 10 to the power -7, and also it's a short range. Okay, so strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force are short range. The other 2, which you are already familiar with in your Form 5 and your early studies, your electromagnetic forces and gravitational forces. Electromagnetic forces, your electric and magnetic forces, magnetic force, electric force, magnetic force. Strength is okay, not as strong nuclear force, and the range is infinite. Infinite means what? For positive charge, negative charge separated for a distance of very far away, theoretically they say there is electric force acting towards them. It's infinite range. Okay. The most obvious one which we daily life is our gravitational force. And this gravitational force acts on a mass object, and it's quite weak, and it's also range is infinite. All planetary system, although very far, the gravitational force acting. Okay. Okay, now this is the main 4 grouping. Okay, we go into one by one. Okay. In this chapter, we'll be discussing gravitational force, electrical force, upthrust, friction, and viscous force. And another one is magnetic force. Okay, I want to tell you here something. Gravitational force is we're going to do in depth in A2. Okay, electrical force also it's a main one topic in A2. In your AS, these 3. These 3 is most important in AS. Okay, So I'm not going to do much about these two. Magnetic force, also one main topic in A2. Okay. Okay. But there is one or two questions they ask in AS too, but not a very common one. These are the main three for AS. Okay, so we're going to talk in depth about these three. Okay, so as we move on. Okay, gravitational force, I put it in briefly, not much of a detailed explanation. Gravitational force experienced by is an attractive force between all masses. The proton, the weakest gravitational force between proton is 10 power negative 34 range. Okay, when the mass are big, it becomes significantly strong. Earth, Moon, the force between them is said to be 10 to the power of 28. Okay, of course, discovered by Newton. When the apple fall on his head, he found that all masses in this world are attractive in nature. Okay, you have a book. Let's say you have a box, 2 kilogram of box, and at the side you have, let's say you have a glass. Okay, a cup. You have a cup at the side. According to Newton, these two, because both of them have mass, they are attractive in nature. Okay, when you are sitting in one place, let's say your friend is just nearby you. Okay, so according to Newton, both of you have an attractive force. Okay, a gravitational force between you and your friend. According to Newton, that force looks like is proportional to the product of the mass. Okay, it means two thin people and two fat one. I think the two fat one will have a greater gravitational force according to Newton. Okay, so I don't want to talk much about this gravitational force. For time being, you should know it's attractive in nature. It acted on mass objects. It's infinite range, and big mass means big gravitational force. Okay. Okay. So it's always attractive in nature. Okay. So another one thing you need to know is this: the Earth. How's the gravitational field of the Earth looks like? It's just a field towards the center of the Earth. It's a radial field. Okay, the gravitational field. It's a radial field. Okay, the field is a radial field. Okay, so if a mass object is on this gravitational field, means the force experienced by this mass object parallel to the field line or perpendicular to the field line. Okay, this is important. This is what they asked in PASIA once. The mass in a gravitational field experience force due to that gravitational field. The force experienced by the object due to gravitational field parallel to the field line or perpendicular to the field line. Anyone?
What?
Okay, I ask back. When a mass object in the gravitational field, okay, let's say you are standing here, you are just in the air, you are just in the air, okay, the Earth pulls you. Which direction is your force? The gravitational force. Downwards, right? Your weight is your gravitational force, right? So the force is acting down. The gravitational force is parallel to the field line or perpendicular to the field line. You see the field line. Where's the field line? Field line acting downwards. The force is also downwards. So the gravitational force is always what? Parallel to the field line. And this is what they asked in exam once. Is it parallel or perpendicular? So it's parallel to the field line. Okay. Gravitational force is always parallel to the field line. Okay. If the gravitational force this way, sideways, okay, let's say there is a moon here. So the gravitational force, of course, sideways. So which direction the gravitational force will act? This way, parallel to the field line. Okay. Okay. So what is the use of gravitational field for us? Anyone? What is the use of gravity for us? If you don't have gravity, what's the big problem you're going to face on this? Yeah.
Standing.
You can't standing. You can't stand on the floor. Is it? Do you feel it's a bad news? You can float, right? Okay.
Okay.
You are lucky. You can.
But the water to be
Yeah.
But the water is affected by gravity also.
Yeah, but water, yeah, it can move up, can float down. We can pull them down with the other type of forces maybe. But okay, it's like looks like more fun. Okay, what is the main issue if you don't have gravity? What is ozone? No gravity, you don't have ozone layer. That's one. Another one, the main thing, human-made one machine won't work. What is that? The most important instrument won't work if no gravity.
Satellite.
Very good, satellite. No gravity means no satellite. No satellite means no telecommunication. Okay, no telecommunication means no handphones and everything. Okay, so we need to appreciate gravity because of satellite. Okay, so we need gravity to move around the satellite. Okay, that's the main contribution. Okay, if gravity is weaker, what will happen to your physical structure? Do you be more stronger or more weaker?
Weaker.
You get weaker. That's the main problem faced by the astronauts. When astronauts go to the moon and come back to the Earth's back, they face a big problem. They reduce lots of mass density, the bone mass density, a lot, because moon, because they are out of space, the gravity is too low. Moon, the gravity is too low, so not much of a stress to the bone. So the bone mass density reduces. So that's why every time they have to do exercise in the spaceship to strengthen their muscles and the bone. Okay, so let's say a creature in another planet which has a huge gravity over there. Okay, when they come back here, let's say they jump to our Earth, I think they will have a more stronger structure than us. Okay, they can make a high jump more higher than us. So yeah, gravity in a sense is make us stronger. Okay. So this is the field line looks like. Please remember how to draw. It's towards the center of the Earth. It's a radial field. So force due to gravitational field, of course, your weight, mg, mass times gravity. Okay, next, electric force. Okay, who experienced electric force? The charged particle experienced electric force. Electric force different than gravitational force in what sense? Anyone? What is the difference between gravitational force and electric force? One difference? Anyone?
Charge.
Electric force on charge, gravitational force on mass. Another one difference? Anyone? Give a try. Anyone?
It's not based on mass.
Okay, that one difference. Gravitational force is act upon mass objects. Electric force act upon charged particle. Another one difference, the nature of the force.
Electrical force is stronger than gravitational force.
Strength, gravity also can be stronger if your mass is huge.
Oh, I mean relative, like you know what they say, like gravity force is weakest upon
the four wheels. Okay. The main one is the nature. Gravitational force always attractive in nature, but electric force could be attractive or repulsive. Okay, it could be attractive or repulsive, depending on the nature of the charge. Okay. Okay. So electric force is caused by electric field. If you don't have electric field, what's the problem you're going to face? If you don't have electric force, electric field, what any machine works based on electric field? Anyone?
dynamo.
Dynamo works based on electric field. Dynamo works based on magnetic field. Okay, dynamo is based on magnetic field. Electric field is based on the photocopy machine. Works based on electrostatic charge, so you need electric field. Okay, your ultrasound, ultrasound in medical field, ultrasound using sound, plus there is electric field required to produce ultrasound. So no electric field means no ultrasound machine. Okay, no photocopy machine. Okay, I think we are okay with if don't have electric field compared to gravity. Gravity is needed for satellite. Okay, but the most useful for mankind, a lot of use, is magnetic force, no doubt about that. Okay, magnetic field. Anyone can tell me, if you don't have magnetic field, what's the problem you're going to face? What are the machines works based on magnetic field? If no magnetic field, yeah. Anyone? Tell me. Example. What's the problem in daily life you're going to face if you don't have magnetic field? Daily life,
Yes.
Cannot generate energy.
Very good. That's the very most important one. No generator. You can't generate electricity. Okay. We have a lot of type of, how do you get electricity? From hydroelectric, dam, from nuclear station, from not solar panel. Solar is fine. Then the, what do you call, mainly the hydroelectric and the, what do you call, the nuclear. Okay. So what type of energy change in the nuclear reactor? The nuclear energy is converted to heat energy then later converted to kinetic energy of the steam go and turn the turbine. Inside the turbine you have magnetic field. Finally, magnetic field involved. Okay, if no magnetic field, you can't generate electricity. So no generator means no electricity to the world. Okay, so biggest problem is magnetic field. Magnetic field is needed to get electricity. Okay, and of course no magnetic field means no motor. Motor also works based on magnetic field. Inside motor got magnet, right? So no electric cars, no fans, no air condition, because need a motor inside to turn it. A lot of things missing. I think the world need generator and motor. Okay, and no magnetic field means we don't have more sophisticated, best sophisticated device used in your scanning in your hospital. What is that? What is the most sophisticated scanning machine nowadays around in hospital?
MRI.
MRI, magnetic resonance imaging, works based on magnetic field. If no magnetic field, no MRI. Okay, MRI is one of the best scanning machine we have compared to ultrasound, X-ray, and CT scan. Give a very clear images. Okay, so magnetic field you're going to do in depth in A2. Very useful field. Okay, magnetic force is experienced by magnetic materials such as iron. Okay, can you tell any other metals not attracted to the magnet? Anyone? Any metals not attracted to the magnet? Any metals not attracted to the magnet? Not ferromagnet. Aluminium. Okay, aluminium, gold, all like not ferromagnet. Okay. So let's move on to these all are magnets. As I told you, motor and generator. Okay. Okay. Now the most important force for AS is upthrust. Okay, this is very important force, frequently asked in your AS. Okay. First question, upthrust. Upthrust is a force acting upward, resultant force on an object placed in a fluid. Upthrust causes due to what? This is the main point they ask frequently. I think many times they ask, what causes upthrust? The pressure difference. The pressure difference between upper and lower body causes upthrust. Pressure at the bottom and the pressure at the top is different. Pressure at the bottom is, what is the pressure formula? I think I never taught you this, but you learned this before. H rho g, right? Yeah. Pressure. So pressure at the bottom is H2 rho g. Pressure at the top here is H1 rho g. There's a pressure difference. Okay. Pressure at the bottom is very high. So big pressure to smaller pressure, there'll be a net force acting upwards. So this force called as upthrust. Okay. Upthrust force. Okay. So upthrust force caused by what? Pressure difference. Very common question. What causes upthrust? Pressure difference between the top and the bottom. Okay. Do you have upthrust in the air? Now you are sitting and listening to this lecture. What are the force acting on your body? What are the force acting on you now? Weight pulling you down.
Yes.
What else? The normal direction pushing you up. Right? These are the two common force. Do you have upthrust?
Technically, yes,
Very good. Technically, yes.
because
But
we are higher dense, and we are the air is so less dense. It's very
very good, very good.
dense, not dense.
Yes, good. That's the point I would like to highlight. And the air, we do have upthrust, but it's neglected. Reason is what? The reason is the density of the air is very low. Okay. If the density of the medium is very high, that means the upthrust is going to be huge. Okay. Like for example, a liquid which has a low density and another liquid which has a high density, the upthrust is bigger in the high density. Okay, high density. So what causes upthrust? Pressure difference. Okay, put in your mind, pressure difference. Okay. So upthrust quite close linked to Archimedes principle. Okay. Everyone heard of Archimedes principle?
Yes.
Yes. What Archimedes said? The upthrust, an object is immersed into a fluid. Fluid means air and liquid, but it's more to liquid. Upthrust, and an object is fully or partially immersed in a fluid. The upthrust is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced. Okay, that means this is a Eureka can. I think Eureka. You have like a Eureka can. Let's say the water is fully fill up to here. Okay, the water. When an object is hanging here, you have a Newton meter on top. The Newton meter shows 10 Newton. Okay, that means weight of this object. Okay, the object is immersed fully into this liquid now. Okay, so what will happen? Some water will displace. So you collect the water. Okay, the water collected. You go and measure this water weight. Okay, measure weight of the water. Let's say this weight of the water shows 2 Newton. Okay, the displaced water shows 2 Newton. Okay, according to Archimedes says that the upthrust acting in this object, the upthrust acting on this object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced. That's what his idea. That means the weight which is hanging in the air shows 10 Newton. When you immerse fully, what is the reading on the Newton meter should be? If the water displaced is 2 Newton. The reading must be 8 Newton. 8 Newton, right? Because upthrust is pushing you up. Okay, pushing the object up. So 8 Newton. Okay, so upthrust is equals to weight of the fluid displaced. Okay. So pressure difference. The force at the side is the same because pressure of both sides is the same. But force at 1 and force at 2 is different. Because pressure is H rho G, pressure is force over area, H2 is greater than H1, so therefore F2 is greater than F1. So upthrust is equals to F2 minus F1. This is the first line. Upthrust is equals to what? Upthrust always acting up. So the F2 minus F1 is the net force, upthrust up. So F2 minus F1 in terms of pressure is P2 times A2, PA1. Force is pressure times area. P2 and P1 is what? The pressure at the bottom and pressure on top, respectively. A2, A1 is the cross-sectional area at the bottom and above, because cross-sectional area is the same. So we take a normal term, a common term, A. This is the partial formula for upthrust. Okay, this is the important term you need to remember. Why? What causes upthrust? Pressure difference. Okay, the pressure difference. Okay, class. Okay, let's do together. Let's prove Archimedes principle here. Archimedes says what? Archimedes says that the upthrust is equals to weight of the liquid displaced. The weight of the liquid displaced. Let's say this liquid has a density of rho. This liquid has a density of rho. Rho is the liquid density. Liquid density. Liquid density. Okay. Can anyone prove to me upthrust equals to weight of the liquid displaced? So how do you do that? Upthrust equals to, we have to expand from here. pressure you can return as what? P2 is pressure. P2 is how much? H2 rho g. H2 rho g. Pressure one is H1 rho g. Okay, A. Okay. So H2 minus H1, we'll leave it like this. Rho g, we put it out. Okay. So you got idea. Now here, H2 minus H1 times A is equals to what? Anyone? H2 minus H1 times A is equals to what? What of the object? Yeah. H2 minus H1 is the H2 minus H1 is actually the height. Yeah, volume. So rho GV lah. Rho GV. V is volume. Volume of what? Volume of the liquid displace, right? Volume of the liquid displace. Or you can see volume of the object. Volume of the object is the volume of the liquid displace, same one. Okay, now you understand this density is density of what? Density of the liquid or density of the object? Pressure is H rho g. The rho is rho of what? Rho of the liquid or rho of the object? Rho of the object. Rho of the object. So rho of the object times volume. Sorry. Rho times V. What do you get? Density is mass over volume, right? So rho times volume. What do you get? Is the mass of the liquid displace. So you get mg. So now proven. So this is where Archimedes proved. The upthrust is equals to weight of the liquid displaced. Okay, this is the proof of Archimedes. Okay, in exam, the main thing they will ask is about this pressure difference. They do sometimes they ask about this equation usage. Density has been used by Archimedes to prove his idea. Okay, this also they asked once in the exam. What are the formulas involved in deriving the Archimedes formula? Density was involved. Density equals to mass over volume. Okay, any question from derivation of the upthrust? So this is how it derived. You can take down. Okay, so upthrust is caused by what? Pressure difference. Okay, upthrust always act upwards. Okay, upthrust is derived by using pressure formula and density formula. Okay, upthrust is less significant in the air because of what? Density is very low. Okay, so I think I told you 20 Newton in the air, partially immersed into the fluid, water will displace. When we completely immerse, the reading shows 10 Newton. That means what of the weight of the displaced water? Should be 10 Newton, right? So weight of this displaced water must be 10 Newton according to Archimedes. Because of what? It only shows 10. 20 become 10. That means upthrust pushing it up with another 10 Newton. Okay, so the water displaced must also 10 Newton. Okay, so rho Vg. Okay, what is the answer for this? 1 minute for you. Put it in WhatsApp. Okay, which of the following expression is equal to the upthrust on the block? So what's the answer? Anyone? Okay. Shinho here. Shinho not here. Huh? Shike here? Shike?
Yes, yes, yes.
Shike here. Huh?
Yeah.
Kavin? Kavin here? Kavin not here.
Yes, yes.
Kavin here. Shinho? Okay. So what is the answer for this?
I'm here.
Kavin? Shinho here. Huh? Okay. Yeah, Kavin, what's the answer for this?
C.
C, the pressure difference times the cross-sectional area will be your Archimedes principle. Okay. Okay. So that's about upthrust. Okay, upthrust force. Okay, before we go to this, let me go through more questions. Okay, this is the past questions about upthrust. Okay. First question. Can be the answer? Yeah, this is a little tricky if you really use your common sense a little. Okay, you can try give me the answers. Okay, some of you said D, many say D. Weight is greater than upthrust. Weight is greater than upthrust, right? The submarine is descents, so going down. So because it's going down. Yeah, okay, the submarine is going down. So the force acting down is of course the weight. The upthrust is acting up. Okay. And the viscous drag also acting up. It's a viscous force. Sorry, we haven't learned that. Viscous force is like air resistance like acting up. Okay. So out of these three forces, of course, the weight is the largest. No doubt about that. Weight is the largest force, the only force acting down. Okay. And next, tell me, the viscous force or the upthrust largest? Of course, the formula is weight equals to the upthrust plus the what? Upthrust plus the viscous. Okay, because it's in equilibrium. So next, upthrust big or viscous big? The upthrust should be the second position. Viscous is the lowest. For liquid. For what? Only for liquid. Okay. Liquid upthrust is very significant because of what? Reason is what? Density is very significant, very high. Okay. So remember, fact to remember, in a liquid, when an object move with a constant speed down, or move constant speed, the weight is the largest, of course, it's going down. Upthrust is the second largest and the viscous is the smallest. Okay. But this case is opposite. This case is opposite. Sorry. This case is opposite. If an object move in the air with a constant velocity downwards, V is constant. Okay. So weight acting down. In this case, the air resistance acting up. Okay. And the upthrust also acting up, which we normally neglected, but they do consider it in A levels sometimes. Okay. So because it moves with a constant velocity, which force is the largest? Which force is the second largest? Which is the third largest? So the largest is going to be what? Because the only force acting is the weight. So of course, weight is the largest, only force acting down. Second, who's the second largest force? Should be the air resistance. Air resistance is the second largest. The lowest is the upthrust. Okay, this is for what? The case of air, a fact to remember. Okay, so upthrust takes the second position in the liquid, upthrust takes the last position in the air. The object moves with a constant speed. Okay, so therefore the answer for this is should be D. Weight is greater than upthrust because weight is the only force acting down. Okay, any problem? Can Okay, let's move on another one. Okay, class. Time's going up. Just 1 minute. Last question. This one. Okay, Juno 4, 12. Last question for this lesson. What's your answer? So what is the physical reason for the upthrust? So D. The D? The D. Can it be D? C, that's good. C, the pressure in the liquid increases with depth. Upthrust caused by pressure difference. Okay, more deeper you go, greater pressure. So pressure difference is the only cause existence of upthrust. Okay, class. So any questions so far? So today's lesson we learn about the type of forces. Yeah. No other problem, So today we learn about
Is upthrust same as buoyancy force?
Yeah, correct. Upthrust, buoyancy force are two different names for the same force. Okay, sometimes we call buoyancy, sometimes we call upthrust.
So in AS we call it upthrust.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
in
we can
A levels we call it upthrust.
Yeah, buoyancy force you can call it as upthrust.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so later 12 to 1 we will be continue discussing the other two important forces. Okay, I see you back at 12 o'clock. Okay, thank you.